Hi, this is Esther with another Global Stampin Video Hop. Be sure to hop along and check out all the other videos. So the theme of this month is embossing, so I'm going to chuck all the embossing I can at this card, starting with dry embossing. This one is the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. Just running it through my machine and you get this really cool kind of canvas effect on your piece of paper. So I'm turning it around and using the debossed side. Then bringing on embossing paste using balmy blue and just laying some down on my silicone mat and then bringing on the paste. You need less than a teaspoon really, just a small bit for doing up the side of the card. Just mixing that into the ink to create some colour. So trying to make it an ombre effect, although the colour wasn't strong enough in the end, and I tend to mix it a bit too much, but just scraping that up and then laying it down through my decorative mask. There's kind of no right or wrong when it comes to the paste. You just got to have confidence to lay it down, spread it out, and it depends what kind of look you want to go for, whether you want it a smoother or more bumpy look, depending on how much you scrape it onto the stencil. So for the great reveal, peeling it off slowly, and there you can see that the paste gives a nice 3D effect. So I'm coming back on with some silver embossing powder and I'm holding it at this upright angle so that the powder falls just on parts of the paste, because I don't want to cover all of it, all of the design. I just want it to be in certain areas, just touching up the corners and the sides of where I've put the paste on. Now when you come to heat it, obviously you've got to heat through the paste, so it takes a little bit longer because the paste is still wet, and you want to hover it over, then move it over, because your paste and your embossing powder might start bubbling, which it did a little bit in my project, so just be sure to keep moving it, and it leaves this really cool kind of shiny metallic effect. So grabbing out a sentiment from So Sentimental and stamping this on a piece of Whisper White. So going in with Versamark ink first and then tapping it into my balmy blue. So this is the right kind of consistency you need to then use some clear embossing powder on it. And you can do this with all the other colours. Use your Versamark ink first and then into your colour. So adding clear embossing and then heating that over, and you can see it just is a really nice way to add shininess and embossing to your sentiment and giving it a touch of luxury. I'm using the matching dies to go with this stamp set, and I'm going to cut this out, and it leaves this lovely stitched framing around the edge. Next I'm bringing in A Beautiful Friendship and the small roses from that, and I'm just going to stamp out 3 and fussy cut these out ready to use onto my card. Then stamping a bit on the background of the card, and because of the texture the stamp has a really nice effect on the background. Adding some leaves onto the design as well. So just gluing on the roses on the front part where the sentiment is. And then showing you my trick with a ribbon. So I have embossed ribbon in the past, but I don't think I've tried this tulle polka dot ribbon before. So a bit of an experiment. I thought it could either work or it could not. So laying down plenty of Versamark to make sure that it actually sticks to the ribbon. And then I'm going to go in with some silver embossing powder. And then just sprinkle it on normally as you would. And it just falls through the holes where it doesn't need to be, but sticks to the parts that we want it to stick to. And I managed to flip it over. So gently putting it back again, I managed to save it and it wasn't too bad. And I'm just going to anchor this down with my ink pad and pair of tweezers. Now my embossing tool is on the low setting, and this is real time, so it does heat very quickly, and so you don't need it on a high setting, just need it hot enough to melt the powder. And it worked. You've got this lovely kind of metallic polka dot ribbon. I'll be definitely doing this again. So because I wanted the embossing side to show up on both pieces, I'm cutting it in half so that I can have two tails behind my roses. I'm just adhering that with some dimensionals and putting dimensionals on the back of my sentiment. Then to add the finishing touches, I'm using the elegant faceted gems, these lovely frosted gems, and touching it up with a bit of Winker Stella on the flowers too. Then using my multi-liquid purpose glue, mounting that on some matching balmy blue cardstock. And there we have it, lots of embossing going on today with paste and dry embossing and heat embossing. I hope this has given you plenty of ideas. Don't forget to follow on with the hop, please, and check out all our wonderful designers and see what they've managed to come up with this month's theme of embossing. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. Thumbs up is always appreciated, and comment below. Let me know what you thought of today's project. I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.